Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen. And by now, guys, you've heard all the details about the upcoming Halloween movie for 2018. You heard that it's going to be directed by David Gordon Green. You've heard that Danny McBride, who has a major comedy background, is going to be co-writing the screenplay. And you heard that John Carpenter is on board to executive produce the film. But we also got some bombshells within the past few weeks, and that is Jamie Lee Curtis is returning to the iconic role of Laurie Strode. And we heard some other big news a few days ago. It's kind of what I personally feared, but you could see like the rumblings in the background, and a lot of fans are divided about this fact. I can tell you what side of the fence I'm on, but the news is that the Halloween 2018 will only follow the original 1978 classic from John Carpenter. It will not follow Halloween 2 from 1981. John Carpenter confirmed that a few days ago himself, saying it's going to ignore all the sequels, all of them. Now, originally when Danny McBride and David Gordon Green spoke about the film, they said it's going to follow the first two films, but things have changed apparently, now that Jamie Lee Curtis is on board and she's back to the Halloween series, and John Carpenter is involved, and he stated in the past he wasn't very happy about making Halloween 2 and coming up with the screenplay for that film. He didn't direct it, but he did write it. But he was contractually obligated to write it, and so really he wasn't enthused about it, and we've all heard that story. He wrote the brother-sister angle over a few beers, Whatever the case may be about Halloween 2, now this is my opinions now, whatever the case may be, whatever events happen, Halloween 2 works, and it works amazingly. It's an absolutely awesome sequel, so I'm kind of pissed that he hates it so much, Why? It's kind of like when you hear that Stephen King doesn't like The Shining, but we all know that it's an absolutely phenomenal film. So it's like sour grapes for nothing, Halloween 2 is awesome. So to me, Halloween 2 is the one true sequel, and it is a very faithful sequel at that. Yes, I love the other films. I love Part 4 and 5 and 6 and H2O and, even Season of the Witch. I enjoy all of them, but a lot of them are just fun. You can't say a few of them are great movies, but I can say that I feel Halloween 2 is a great horror movie, and I think it's the best sequel in horror history. So that's where I stand on it. Let me know what you guys think about it, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know some people absolutely love the idea. They say, oh, it brings the shape back to his origins and, makes him scary again, leaving an air of mystery, not knowing what his motives are, or does he even have a motive? Is it just randomly that he's stalking Laurie and fixates on Laurie? But me personally, I love the brother-sister angle. To me, it works. Especially if you're going to have several sequels, you gotta reveal something about the character, But that's just my opinion, I feel like it worked, and it worked really well. And to me, giving him the motivation does not make him any less scary. That's what Danny McBride and David Gordon Green and John Carpenter may think. That's not what I think, and I think that's not what a lot of people think. You're gonna tell me Michael Myers wasn't scary in Halloween 2 when he had the brother-sister angle? And that's because Dick Warlock was an absolutely amazing Michael, but tell me he wasn't scary. Tell me he wasn't scary in all the other ones, 4 and 5, and Michael Myers is scary no matter what his motivations are. He's a terrifying shape. He's a psychotic madman no matter how you look at it. Whether his motivation is to take Laurie out, to me it kind of seems weird not to have any motivation, or not to know that there's any motivation. There should be some kind of motivation. And yeah, you can have Dr. Loomis talk all day long about how evil he is, but unless he reveals, he must know something. You think Dr. Loomis doesn't know anything about what's going on in his psyche? He was in the mental institution with Michael for 15 years and watched him for 15 years. He has to know something about his background or his motivations. That's why we got a little bit of insight into that in Halloween 2 with the Sam Hain angle, you know. And that played heavily later on. I mean, as we all know, with part 5 and 6, you know. Say what you will about how that was handled, but I always liked that idea. I love that idea, you know. I love the air of, I mean, still an air of mystery about him, you know, even with that angle. But at any rate, I'm upset about it. I'm going to be honest with you. It made me less excited about the film. I'm still excited. I'm on board. Trust me, I'm going to be there no matter what. I'm going to be at that theater October 2018. You better believe it. I'm still excited about seeing Jamie Lee Curtis return to the franchise, and I'm also excited about John Carpenter scoring the music, because he did actually confirm that. So, another big bombshell dropped, folks. John Carpenter will score Halloween 2018. He did confirm that in an interview a few days ago. And now, whether or not he's going to make an entirely new soundtrack, or is he going to update the soundtrack for the modern audience? At any rate, I just hope it's really intense, you know, either way. Even if they do, like with Halloween 2, how they added the organ sound and made it real gothic sounding, I love that. So even if he just updates the original soundtrack for the modern audience, I would still love it. Or even if they just play the original soundtrack, it would be awesome. But yeah, and if he does something new, great. I do think it definitely needs to have the original theme song at least at the beginning, you know, or somewhere in the movie. You gotta have that original theme, because it just has to be in there. It's been in every installment of the franchise, so you gotta have that in there at least. So he could just have the original Halloween theme in there, and then whatever else, just make up the rest of it. Fine, I would love it. But anyway, I am excited about that. I'm excited about Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm still excited to see what they're going to do with it, how they're going to continue from the events of the original 1978 film. Plus, we know, of course, that the actress Judy Greer is set to play Laurie Strode's daughter in the film. I believe her name will be Karen Strode. And that's another thing that people have said about, why didn't they pick Danielle Harris, for God's sakes? And I'm with you, folks, because that's exactly what I would have did. If I was making this movie, and Laurie Strode's going to have a daughter, you better believe it would be Danielle Harris. You know, some people might say, oh, that causes a little, you know, a little convolution there, because 4, 5, and 6 does get convoluted. You know, where would you fit that storyline into play? You know, with the Jamie Lloyd character. For me personally, I would, you know, just follow 4 and 5, skip 6. And you can still include Halloween H2O as well. You bring Josh Hartnett back, he could be his son. So they could all meet up somehow, and that way you'll have a lot more continuity in the franchise instead of ignoring every single sequel that's ever been made. Which I think is kind of ridiculous, because it makes the timeline all screwed up. What about people the casual fan who's seen a couple here and there, they're going to be like, wait, what about Jamie Lloyd? What about this little girl, Michael's niece? Or what about Josh Hartnett, who plays Laurie's son? What about the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis died in Halloween Resurrection? Or what about part 4, where she supposedly died in a car crash and Jamie Lloyd was adopted? It just causes more problems than necessary, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, folks. Like I said, I'm going to be there either way. I love Halloween, I love the franchise, and no matter what, I just hope they make a great film. So, thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared.